The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons. On today's show, we'll be talking about the open enrollment period for Medicare Part D. That's from October 15th through December 7th. And what's important about it is you have an opportunity to evaluate your prescription drug plan, which is Part D. Is it working for you? Would you like another one? Do you anticipate changes? Or would a Medicare Advantage plan help you? Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, but my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
In 20 years at an electric utility, I've seen the hardships many of our neighbors face with high winter heating bills.
Ross Holter, Flathead Electric Co-op.
That's why I donate to Energy Share of Montana. I just hate the thought of senior citizens, and young kids especially, being cold in the winter. Donate to Energy Share. Help your neighbor stay warm.
To donate, call 888-779-7589 or go to EnergyShareMT.com. Energy Share, you can help your neighbor stay warm.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and as I mentioned, we're talking about the open enrollment period. Joining us is Kimmy Everman. You're a program manager with DPHHS. Welcome back to your show.
Thank you.
And let's start at the top. We're talking about open enrollment. What is it? Why do we have it? And why is it important?
Well, it's super important, and before we say anything else, I just want to put out there, call a SHIP counselor.
Right.
Get that at the top of your notes, because that's the person that can really truly help you the most with what is going on right now, which is the Medicare open enrollment. Now, as you commented, Brian, it's the open enrollment period for Medicare Part D right now, which means you get to choose your either new Part D plan, which would be for your prescription medications, or you sign up for the same one you've been using. Yeah. Or you can also use this time frame to move over to a Medicare health plan. Those are known as Medicare Advantage plans. Those are Medicare plans that all your services sort of come in one big bundle, if you will, and your medication comes along with that. So you have two big choices to make during this time frame. And the reason that it's so important is that you want to make sure that you're getting the best value and the best work from your benefit. Your benefit should be working for you, not the other way around. And what I mean by that are all the medications that you take on the formulary for that company. Now, we've talked about formularies before. That's the list of medications that each company has that you go by as a consumer, and you say, oh yeah, okay, I take this and this and this. They have to have at least 2 drugs in about 212 different drug classes. Some of them, they have all the meds. Some they don't. But my point here is that you don't have to worry that your doctor might give you something that isn't on the formulary, from the respect that every kind of drug is on every formulary. It might not be the same brand that your doctor talks about, and then we need to work that out. But at the very sort of beginning, you have to have that list to tell you what you can, what's on your list to be able to buy from that company.
Buy from that company. So when you're evaluating whether your present plan is meeting your needs, I imagine you want to look. Well, when you go to the drugstore, they'll probably say, you got to pay full cost for this one. Maybe higher deductibles, is that possible? Do you have lower deductibles?
Well, there is a deductible with some plans and not with all.
Oh, okay.
Some may have the full deductible, some may have half, some may have zero. That's another reason why it's so important for folks to call a SHIP counselor and review their plans each year, because for many people, the deductible piece is very important. They say, I want to start getting my savings right away. I don't want to pay a deductible.
Right.
So then you only want to look at plans that don't have deductibles. In Montana, we probably have 50 plans to choose from. So there's some that do, some that don't, and some that are in the middle. What you need to do is remember that the plans without deductibles may charge a little more for the medication each month. Maybe, maybe not. It all depends on the medication. One of the things that you can do, either on your own or as with a SHIP counselor, is to look in the plan finder, which we know is on the Medicare.gov website, and you can see what different medications, about what they're going to cost. You can see which plans have which medications, etc. So these are all ways to get informed. To inform yourself about which plan is the best for you to buy.
Which one? And you mentioned there's 50 different plans.
Yeah, about that.
And we have SHIP counselors that will help you.
Yep.
But now you need to bring your prescriptions in. I mean, just to say I have an antidepressant.
Right, because there's so many.
Specific.
Right. The very best thing to do, the thing that the counselors like the very best, is for you to stop by your pharmacy and ask for a printout. Then you've got it. There's no mistakes. You've got it spelled correctly. You've got the milligrams correct, which is very, very important. Some different strengths are more expensive than others, so you want to make sure that you get that in. So go to the pharmacy and they'll be happy to print you that list and bring along just sort of an idea of where you might want to go as far as a pharmacy. Do you like the one you go to? Do you want to do mail order? There's a lot of different options.
And I know you can also ask the pharmacy to indicate how much you paid. So you'll have an idea of your total yearly payout, which will be helpful. Now, let's talk about appointments really quickly. It's important to have an appointment because that December 7th date is coming up.
Call the number on the screen. It's our 1-800 number, and it'll ring you into your local area agency on aging. Ask to talk to a SHIP counselor. If they can't get you in for an appointment, they may be able to talk you through some things over the telephone. And in our next segment, I can talk about how you can do it yourself.
Great. So we have a lot of information here. You can pre-inform yourself by going to Medicare.gov.
That's right.
And maybe look at that Medicare and You booklet that you receive once a year. We'll get a new one this year, won't we?
Yep. You did.
And it'll detail what you need to know.
That's right. That's right. Exactly right. And thanks for bringing up the Medicare and You book. I'm a big fan. It's a good book. It doesn't have all the answers, but it can get you started.
Get you asking the right questions, which is half the issue.
It is, really. That's half the battle.
Okay. So for our viewers, again, we're talking about the open enrollment period. It's from October 15th through December 7th. We're in the middle of it. That December 7th is coming up pretty quick. If you don't do anything, December 7th, you'll stick with your original plan. But you might want to evaluate what your plan is doing for you now and different options such as Medicare Advantage plans. They could be the right ticket for you, and a counselor could help. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I was the last guy you'd expect to get diabetes. I was a competitive runner and I always took care of myself. So when I was diagnosed, it kind of threw me. But it's really encouraging to know I'm not alone with it. There are a lot of other people going through the same things as I am. It takes some effort. You have to keep after it. Exercise, meds, and diet are the key. But there are a lot of folks who want me to succeed. Diabetes is not the end of the world. With effort and attitude, you can have a normal life.
Are you looking for a helping hand through the maze of human services, or for information on government programs and benefits that you may qualify for? The Information and Assistance Program provides information on all programs that meet our aging population's basic needs and programs that enhance their lives as well as the lives of their families or caregivers. If you have questions about Medicaid, Medicare, or other services and programs, please call 1-800-551-3191.
Every generation produces heroes, men and women who step forward to defend our country in time of need, no matter the personal cost to themselves. And though we can never fully repay them, we can make sure they have access to low-cost, long-term care when they need it. That's what Montana's Veterans Homes are all about. If you've got a hero in need in your family, call us. We can help.
I take care of my wife at home. When I found out training was available, I said, sign me up. It's made a huge difference.
When my husband was injured at work, it was life-altering. The classes taught me that it's okay to grieve, to ask for help, and to better cope as a caregiver.
My dad lives 4 hours away, and the Powerful Tools classes taught me that it's okay to ask for help. I highly recommend them.
To find out about this course for caregivers, go to powerfultoolsforcaregivers.org.
It's amazing the difference a little training can make.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore. On today's show, as I mentioned, we're talking about the open enrollment period, which started October 15th and goes till December 7th, which is coming up really quick right now. What we want you to do is evaluate how your Part D plan is working for you and how maybe a Medicare Advantage might be better for you. Rejoining us is Kimmy Everman. And Kim, let's define what Part D is and how that interacts with a Medicare Advantage plan, and why would an individual want one or the other?
Sure. Well, the Part D plan is we can either get a standalone Part D plan, which is you have traditional Medicare Parts A and B, and then you want your drug coverage, so you buy a standalone medication plan, and that just means that that's all the product is just coverage of medications. Mm-hmm. Other folks prefer to go the Medicare Health Plan or Medicare Advantage route, and what that is instead of just buying your medications maybe from one plan, you're getting all of your health care from one plan. Mm-hmm. You get all your Part A services, B services. You most always get your medication coverage, and we call it a one-stop shop in a way. Mm-hmm. The traditional model of Medicare versus the Medicare Advantage model, it really has to do with what's the easiest for you as a beneficiary and what works the best. If you are in the traditional model because you have a particular doctor that you like to see, then that's probably good for you. Yeah. Because in the MA model or the Medicare Advantage model, you may not be able to see the doctor that you want to see. You may have to choose from a network or a list of doctors that work for that particular company. But there are people who don't, that doesn't matter. That as long as they're seeing a physician or a physician's assistant, they're fine. Yeah. So those are some kind of biggies, differences wise. The other thing is that the Medicare Advantage plans are a bit more wraparound in that they may cover a few extra things maybe that the traditional model wouldn't. Sometimes they may cover a small amount of dental, a small amount of vision care, but these are things that you need to be sure, if you're looking for that you need to be sure you check it out and find out how much coverage per year. Because if it's not even going to cover one appointment, say to the dentist or something, it may not be worth changing over to you. It all depends, and this is the time to talk to the SHIP counselor.
Yep. So So Medicare is Part A, B, and D, and that is provided through the government. Now, Medicare Advantage plans, they provide the A, B, and D through them. And, but the government's still paying them.
Right.
But they're a private sector insurance company that may offer greater benefits or additional services, depending on what you would like to do. Of course, there'll be an increased cost because of that.
Yeah, there sometimes is. There are some Medicare Advantage plans that don't have increased premiums. There are others that do. Again, it's all about what works in your life, what is financially viable for you, and what's in your area.
Okay, so now our SHIP counselors, do they know the different Medicare Advantage plans? So when you go in to talk to them, they can say, well, this plan might pay more in this area that you're going in?
Well, what we would do is, because there's so many, what we would do is use the plan finder on the Medicare.gov website. And that will tell us some of the questions like you just asked. That will answer some of those questions. Other questions that are sort of specific in that way, the SHIP counselor can help that person frame it into the right kind of a sentence and then give a call to the company and ask the question.
Ask the question for that. So what it comes down to is the SHIP counselor is helping you to make your decision. They don't make it for you. They can advise, but it's all up to you. And everybody has a unique circumstance. That's why it isn't one shoe fits everyone.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Now, you know, one really kind of cool thing that's coming up is we're hoping to see more people using the My Medicare piece of the Medicare website because it's going to make looking for those Part D plans a whole lot easier on your own. And if you want to have a SHIP counselor help you, please call. If you think you can maybe ding around and do it yourself, you're not going to break anything. You're not going to erase anything on your record. You can go in and do it yourself and see what you come up with.
Okay, now a person can go into that plan finder, they can ask the questions, they can become informed.
Right.
What if they chose the A plan and before December 7th they talk to a SHIP counselor and want to change it? Is that possible?
Sure. Your last enrollment, although I don't ever recommend enrolling over and over, but your last enrollment before the end of the enrollment period should be the one that sticks. So try not to do that. Before you submit anything, be sure that you know what you want.
I'm looking for problems that shouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Okay. So your SHIP counselor, it's important to note they're all around the state. They by calling the 800 number, it actually knows where you are and it'll call into your local office and they'll want to make an appointment with you to make sure that they cover everything. And appointments are going fast, right?
They really are. And so you don't want to put it off. And these folks are absolutely fabulous at what they do. They're so knowledgeable. And if they don't know the answer to a question, they will find out.
And they don't have something on the shelf to sell you. So
they're completely objective here. This is the part of what they do in their advocacy is assist.
And they're completely confidential. So your situation won't be spread around town.
That's right.
Well, we're quickly drawn to a close on our second segment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Gentlemen, this is a secure federal facility. Do you have your Montana Real IDs?
ID? I am Captain Lewis, and this is Captain Clark.
I'm sorry, I can't let you in.
Can't go into a federal facility, can't fly. Let's go back to the river.
Yes, we'll float home. Let me check the Google. What's a dam?
Discover more at mtrealid.gov.
Montana Real ID. It's the real me.
It was a beautiful day. There was about 2 square feet of ice near the door, which I slid on and fell, cracking one rib. And I became somewhat frightening for me to walk outside, particularly in the winter. The Stepping On program came as kind of a surprise to me. I didn't know about it. I've learned the importance of proper balance. I think anybody who has fallen or is afraid of falling would benefit from this program.
3,000-pound walrus? Good insulation. 10-pound Sphinx cat? Bad insulation. Puffed up cardinal? Good insulation. Naked mole rat? Oh, bad insulation. If your home's insulation isn't all that it could be, the Low-Income Energy Assistance Program may be able to help. Call today. You just might be eligible for weatherization assistance, and that could make your nest a little cozier.
It's been 27 years. I never thought I'd still be smoking, but here I am, COPD and all. I'm about to have a granddaughter. There's so much to show her, but I'm scared I won't be able to keep up like I used to. I kind of gave up on myself on quitting. But it's different now. I want to be here for her and for my daughter.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host Brian Lamore, and we're continuing our discussion about the open enrollment plan, which started October 15th and ends December 7th, which is coming up pretty quick right now. It's an opportunity for you to evaluate your Medicare Part D, which is prescription drug plans. But you can also sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan. We'll be talking about that. But Kimmy, let's start at the front. Let's talk about mymedicare.gov.
Yes.
What does that have about My Medicare services and opportunities?
Well, pretty much as much as you can think of, it's probably there. My Medicare has been around for quite some time. You can find it on the Medicare.gov website, and it's a password protected place for the beneficiary only to see their information, so they can see billings, and they can see maybe there are some health concerns that are going around that they want to have them updated on. I mean, this is where their information is going to be, just on their Medicare. And one of the really great pieces of the My Medicare is that if you do want to do your own search for a Part D plan or a drug plan, you can use the My Medicare application to pull the drugs in that you took all year, because that system knows what you got, and you're going to be able to look at those meds and say, I still take A, B, C, I don't take D, and use that list to yourself, be able to review different plans on the Plan Finder. That being said, you don't have to do it that way. You can call a SHIP counselor. If that sounds like it's too much, call a SHIP counselor. However, we do have more and more folks who feel pretty comfortable with their computers. If you go to the Medicare.gov website, there's tutorial films and things there, so you can learn how to use it. Plus, it's very intuitive. It's very user-friendly, and that's where you're going to find that My Medicare.
Okay, that's great. Now, in the past, we've always heard about a phrase called the donut hole. Can you tell us what that was?
Yeah, isn't that great? We've seen the end of the donut hole in 2020, and so it'll go to a straight 75%, 25% split, and that's just wonderful news. I think we've all sort of scratched our heads over the years trying to figure out what it is and how long it'll be there and that sort of thing, but the good news is in 2020 we can wave it goodbye.
That's good. Well, you say now it's all 75-25, which 25% would be your copay, and we have certain programs that are out there that'll help an individual with their Medicare, not just their Part D drugs. Tell us more about those programs and why they're important.
Well, let's back up first of all and talk about, there is a very, very helpful program called the Medicare Savings Program, and that program pays for the person's Part B premium. And we didn't talk about Part B today, but that's your outpatient coverage, and that can run up to $180 a month or something in that regard. So having a program pay that for you each month puts money back in your pocket that you can use to pay your rent, buy food, pay the heat bill, buy a birthday gift, whatever you want to do. Because, remember that you worked and you worked for your community all these years, and if you fit the eligibility criteria for a program like this, you deserve to have it.
Yes, yeah.
So that's the Medicare Savings Program. Then in terms of the Part D plans that we've been talking about today, we have two. We have, first of all, the Low Income Subsidy, or LIS. You may have heard of that called the Helping Program as well, or Extra Help, I mean. That helps pay for the drug plan premiums. It helps subsidize the co-pays. Some of it, if there's a deductible, it might help pay for that. And it comes at different levels. So if you're not 100% eligible, you might be 75% eligible or 50% eligible. So very important to try. Even if you think you aren't going to be eligible, you might as well try it. Third one, the Big SkyRx program, fabulous homegrown program, pays just the premium of the drug plan each month, but it's for folks who have a little higher income and they don't care about your assets. So any of those, call a SHIP counselor, call us, we want to help.
Well, you know, many times you might have a son, daughter, or grandchild helping you out with your Medicare, and they may not know, they may think that you're not eligible for one program and then say, well, you're not eligible for all of them. Just talk to a Part D person. That's the best result, because they know what they're doing, and have them maybe even proof what they have done for you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that SHIP counselor can come in and be your advocate at any level. You don't have to have them do everything if you don't feel like you want to. You can just sort of check in to see what they think about what the work that you have done. Makes you feel more empowered to know your own deal anyway, right? So I really encourage folks to get informed, but definitely check in with us. And definitely, if there's a program or a benefit that you're eligible for, go for it.
They'll make sure. Plus, the advantage is these individuals work for area agencies, and the Older Americans Act provides a lot of different programs which you could be eligible for. They'll keep an eye on you for that.
That's right, exactly.
And you paid into this all your life?
All your life you work to do this. So yeah, we want you to know that this is not a handout, it's a hand up.
Hand up, and you deserve it.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you, Kimmy, for being here.
Absolutely.
Again, for our audience, you know, the open enrollment period ends December 7th. You've received Medicare and Me booklet. Kind of go over that. I found that it was very, very helpful. And then you need to evaluate what Part D or Medicare Advantage plan is to your best advantage. And please check with a SHIP counselor. Call that number on the screen, and we'll see you again soon.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.